Chosen one. Pause for a moment. Heaven has pressed silence around you because what you are about to hear is not coincidence. You have been scrolling, searching, and wondering if God still sees you. This moment, right now, is divine interruption. God has heard what they said about you. Every whisper behind your back, every false story spoken to tear your name apart. Every laugh when you stumbled, heaven recorded it all. You thought it was forgotten, but the eyes of the Lord never blink. You have carried so much pain quietly. You tried to stay calm, tried to forgive, but the sting of betrayal has burned longer than you expected. People you trusted twisted your name, used your kindness, and acted like you were invisible. Yet here's what the Spirit is saying. Heaven heard what they said, and heaven is moving. God is not ignoring the injustice. He is storing it as evidence. You see, when they spoke against you, they weren't just talking about you, they were talking against what God placed inside you. You are His chosen one. That means every lie thrown at you was a direct challenge to divine purpose. You didn't lose those relationships by accident. You didn't walk away from those environments because you were weak. You were removed for preservation, even when you sat alone, feeling misunderstood. The angels of the Lord surrounded you. You didn't know it then, but God was already drafting the answer to the prayer you hadn't dared to pray. He was preparing vindication. And now that time is near, listen carefully. When heaven defends a chosen one, there is no debate, no delay, no defense from darkness that can stand. You've asked, why didn't God speak sooner? But the truth is, He was listening. Silence was not absence, silence was strategy. He let them think they could speak freely, expose themselves fully, and write their own judgment. Every careless word became the rope of their own undoing. You didn't have to fight back because God wanted to show you that His justice is not loud, it's inevitable. Heaven doesn't argue, heaven acts. And now, heaven has decided to act on your behalf. The same mouths that mocked you will marvel at you. The same hands that pointed in accusation will tremble in awe. God is rewriting the narrative, turning whispers of slander into testimonies of His favor. You will rise not by proving them wrong, but by being faithful long enough for God to prove Himself right. They thought they could bury you, but they didn't know you were a seed. Every tear watered the soil. Every rejection pushed you deeper into divine alignment. You have been hidden, not forgotten. And now the wind of heaven is blowing across your life again, restoring your strength, awakening your boldness, igniting your purpose. As it is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 31, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will not grow weary. That is your promise. Chosen one, you are not defeated. You are in the process of divine renewal. The same God who saw the pain will now reveal the purpose. The same ears that heard the gossip have also heard your cries in the night. And now the Judge of heaven has risen from His throne. This is your moment to stand firm, not in pride, but in peace. For peace is not weakness, it is the mark of those who know who fights for them. You do not need to explain yourself to anyone. You only need to walk in the light that cannot be dimmed by rumor or rejection. Heaven has already begun the war in the spirit realm. The battle is not yours, it belongs to the Lord. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders, breathe again. The fire that tried to consume you will now illuminate you. Now, if this message has struck your spirit, do not keep it silent. This is your prophetic confirmation. Like this message as a declaration that heaven has heard. Share it so others may be strengthened. Subscribe to stay connected to the words that awaken destiny, and as a prophetic act of agreement, comment the number 111 below. That number symbolizes divine attention and answered prayer. When you type it, you are declaring, "Heaven heard, and heaven is fighting for me." This is your sign. Chosen one. The battle is shifting. Heaven has already moved. The secret conversations of shadows, those quiet, hidden moments when voices rose in rooms you were never invited into. Chosen one. You never heard the full sentences, but you felt the weight of them in your spirit. The atmosphere around you would suddenly change. Eyes that once sparkled with warmth became cold, polite, distant. It was not imagination. It was evidence. There were secret conversations, words spoken to wound, to plant doubt, to paint you in false colors. You sensed it long before you could prove it. The spirit inside you warned you. You couldn't explain why your heart ached after being around certain people, why your peace drained whenever their names appeared on your phone, why laughter seemed sharp when you entered the room. It was because heaven allowed your discernment to awaken. You are not paranoid, you are prophetic. They gathered in secret, but they forgot. Heaven never misses a meeting. The conversations that were meant to destroy your name became recorded testimonies in the courts of heaven. Every false word has been weighed. Every twisted phrase has been marked. God has heard not just what they said, but why they said it, and the motives behind their lips will now testify against them. This is why you couldn't respond in anger. You wanted to speak your side, to defend yourself. But the Spirit whispered, "Be still." Because you are not fighting a rumor, you are witnessing a divine exposure. You have been silent, not because you were weak, but because your silence was obedience. You allowed heaven to handle what the flesh could only make worse. Sometimes, God doesn't defend you by silencing the enemy. He defends you by giving them enough space to reveal themselves completely. He lets them speak so much that their own tongues become evidence of what dwells within. That's the divine irony. While they were plotting to expose you, they were actually exposing themselves. You have been carrying wounds that words created. Words are seeds. They carry power. Some of those seeds were thrown at you like stones. But here is the mystery. Every false seed spoken over you has fallen on the wrong soil. None of it can take root because your ground belongs to God. What was meant to destroy your identity will instead water your destiny. Listen carefully. Your peace is your weapon. The moment you choose not to react, you disarm darkness when they expect you to fight, and instead you walk in calmness. Confusion falls upon them. That is the sound of heaven defending you quiet. Unstoppable. Divine. There are moments in life when God allows lies to run free, only so that when truth rises, it cannot be denied. This is one of those moments. You will not have to clear your name. God Himself will do it for you. Evidence will emerge. Hearts will shift. And those who judged you will wish they had waited before they spoke. Do you remember how heavy it felt? That silent suffering you carried when you heard whispers about yourself. Every tear you cried in secret was counted. Every sigh you released into your pillow was heard. God was never distant. He was documenting, and now, the time of divine response begins. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 12, verse 1. You are always righteous, Lord, when I bring a case before you. Yet I would speak with you about your justice. Why do the wicked prosper? These words echo your own heart, don't they? You've wondered why the ones who wronged you seem to thrive while you've suffered in silence. But just as Jeremiah questioned, God has answered. The prosperity of the wicked is temporary. It is mercy giving them space to repent before judgment strikes. But when repentance is refused, justice must arrive. So don't envy them. Chosen one. Don't look at their comfort and mistake it for blessing. God sometimes lets them rest only so they can fall from a higher place where all can see His justice revealed. And when He moves, it will be undeniable. The hidden will become headlines in the Spirit. The concealed motives will shout through circumstance. And your name, the one they tried to bury under rumor, will shine brighter for it. This isn't just restoration, it's reversal. Every shadow that once threatened to swallow, you will now become the background that makes your light impossible to ignore. You must keep your posture. Stay quiet. Stay kind. Stay pure. God is watching how you carry yourself while He clears your path. Your humility is the altar upon which He will display His glory. The more you rest in His timing, the more powerful your vindication will be. The secret conversations are ending. The darkness is losing its audience. Heaven has heard, and heaven is responding. The weight of betrayal, few burdens press heavier on a chosen soul. You, chosen one, know exactly how it feels. Betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from those who once called you family. You shared your dreams, your fears, your sacred moments, and they turned them into weapons. You were loyal to the wrong hearts, and that realization tore something deep inside you. You didn't just lose people, you lost peace for a time. You replayed conversations in your mind, wondering where things went wrong. You asked yourself what you did to deserve such cruelty. But listen carefully, your pain is not punishment. It is preparation. Every betrayal was a divine filter, removing those who could not walk with you into your next season. When Judas kissed Jesus, it wasn't a sign of love. It was a key unlocking destiny. So it is with you. Their betrayal was not the end, it was the opening. You are stepping into a chapter that they were never meant to read. God allowed the betrayal not to break you, but to bless you. It hurt, yes, but it also healed you of dependence on those who could never see your true worth. There were moments you felt like giving up. The loneliness after betrayal can feel unbearable, the silence after goodbye. The emptiness after trust is shattered. Yet that silence became sacred ground. Heaven used your isolation as an incubator for revelation. What was stolen from you in deceit, God is returning through wisdom. You have learned to see beyond faces, beyond words, beyond false promises. You are no longer naive. You are anointed. Every scar left by betrayal is a mark of divine ownership. It says, "This one belongs to God." And they survived what others thought would destroy them. That pain has built endurance in your spirit. And now, heaven calls you unstoppable. We are reminded through the writings of David, in the Psalms, chapter 55, verse 22. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. David knew betrayal. He wrote these words after being wounded by one who once walked beside him. You, too, have walked that valley. But just like David, your story doesn't end there. It turns upward. For the righteous may bend, but they do not break. So release the bitterness. God cannot bless a hand that still clings to pain. Let forgiveness flow not for them, but for you. You cannot move forward carrying weights that were never yours to bear. Forgiveness is not approval of what they did. It is the announcement that they no longer have power over your peace. Chosen one. Your endurance has drawn heaven's attention. Every time you stayed silent instead of seeking revenge, angels recorded it. Every time you chose prayer over gossip, your name was whispered in the courts of heaven. You are being honored in unseen realms for victories no one else knew you were fighting. Do not underestimate what this season has done to your spirit. It has deepened you, purified you, strengthened you. The one who walked out on you has no idea they left behind someone more powerful than before. You have grown in grace and wisdom. The next time betrayal knocks, it will find your heart guarded by discernment, not by walls. Sometimes the greatest blessing God gives is exposure. You prayed for connection, but He gave you clarity instead. You asked for loyalty, but He revealed who truly loved your light and who only loved your benefits. That revelation was painful, but it was protection in disguise. Now, the ashes of betrayal are about to become the soil of rebirth. God is building something new out of what was broken. The same places where you were mocked will soon become the stages of your restoration. The same mouths that cursed you will have to watch you rise, quietly humbled by the power of your endurance. And in this sacred moment, you are invited to make a declaration not to me, but to heaven itself. In the comments below, write these words. I release them. Those 3 words may seem small, but they hold spiritual power. When you type them, you are not typing out of weakness. You are signing your freedom. You are saying, I will no longer let betrayal define me. I choose peace over pain, destiny over bitterness, purpose over revenge. Heaven honors that act. The moment you release them, you make room for God to fight for you fully. The hardest wounds produce the strongest warriors. The deepest pain births the purest purpose. You are being refined, not ruined. Let this moment mark the turning point. Lift your head again. Chosen one, the hands that betrayed you have no power over the crown God is placing upon you. God steps into the room, not a sound, not a trumpet, not an announcement, just a shift. You feel it before you see it. The air thickens with presence, and suddenly, what was heavy begins to lift. Chosen one, this is the moment heaven takes the battlefield for you. Every unseen conversation, every betrayal, every false accusation has reached its limit. God Himself has stood up. You have been through seasons where you begged for help, where prayers seemed unanswered, where justice seemed delayed. But the silence was never abandonment. It was gathering. God was collecting the evidence, aligning the timing, and waiting for your heart to heal enough so that when vindication came, you would not gloat, you would glorify. He is in the room now, the same presence that parted seas, silenced storms, and raised. The dead is standing over your life. You might not see fire or lightning, but you will feel peace begin to flood every corner of your being. That peace is proof that he has arrived. The room that once echoed with anxiety is now filled with authority. When God steps in, everything changes position. The oppressor loses ground. The liar loses voice. The accuser loses influence. You don't need to speak. His presence speaks for you. It tells every dark power, every demonic whisper, every manipulative soul, enough. And sometimes, God doesn't fight by sending storms. He fights by calming them. That calmness you feel right now is not emptiness, it's strategy. The war is over before it ever began. Because the moment he enters, the verdict is sealed. Heaven does not debate outcomes, heaven declares them. You've wondered why God took so long, why he allowed injustice to breathe, why he let your name be mishandled. But he's teaching you something deeper. His justice is never rushed. Yet, it's never late. He doesn't operate on emotion, he operates on eternity. And when he finally moves, he does it in such a way that no one, not even your enemies, can deny it was him. There will come a day, soon, when you will look around and realize the war has ended. The people who tried to discredit you will be busy explaining themselves. The words they spoke will fall silent under the weight of truth. And you will stand there, not with anger, but with awe, because the battle that once consumed your nights was never really yours to fight. It belonged to the Lord all along. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 4. For the Lord your God is the one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to give you victory. Read that again. He goes with you, not merely before you. That means you were never alone in the fight. Even in your weakest moments, when tears blurred your sight and strength left your hands, he was there. Every sigh was recorded. Every cry was heard. He didn't just observe, he interceded. Right now, unseen angels are moving through the terrain of your life, setting things right. Conversations are shifting. Hearts are softening. Hidden documents are surfacing. Divine reversals are being written. What was meant for your defeat is being rewritten as evidence of your endurance. The same room that once held accusation is being transformed into a courtroom of vindication. And you, yes, you will walk out free, whole, and untouchable, not because of your own defense, but because God himself decided your case. When heaven fights, no human hand can alter the outcome. This is why you had to stay quiet, why you had to keep walking when others mocked. You weren't being ignored, you were being escorted. Heaven's armies don't need an audience to move, they just need obedience. And your obedience has now triggered divine intervention. When God steps into the room, even the smallest details matter. He restores what was lost, redeems what was stolen, and renews what was dying. He doesn't just fix circumstances, he realigns destinies. Look around your life right now at the things that once caused you fear. They no longer hold the same power, do they? That's the proof of his presence. You're standing in the aftermath of a battle you didn't have to fight. The peace you feel is the sound of victory echoing quietly through your spirit. Chosen one. This is the hour of divine defense. You don't need to fight for visibility. God is revealing you in his own timing. You don't need to beg for justice. God is executing it in his own way. The very power that raised Christ from the dead is standing with you. He has stepped into the room. The verdict is already written. The victory is already yours. The tables are turning. Chosen one. Slowly. Silently. Power is shifting in the unseen. What was spoken in darkness is now being rewritten in light. The same stage that once hosted your humiliation is being rearranged for your honor. You can almost feel it, the rhythm of reversal. It's like the tide at dawn. All night, the ocean seemed to retreat, as though it would never return. But when the first hint of morning arrives, the waves rise again, reclaiming the shore. That's you right now, rising, reclaiming what was taken. Every insult, every false judgment, every closed door, they are about to serve as the backdrop for your comeback. You don't need to chase those who wronged you. God is bringing the harvest to the very soil that once rejected your seed. The same mouths that laughed will soon fall silent. The same eyes that rolled in mockery will widen in wonder. Because when heaven restores, it doesn't do it halfway. It does it publicly, completely, beautifully. You might not see the full picture yet, but the shift has already begun. The enemies of your destiny are unknowingly becoming instruments of your elevation, like pieces on a divine chessboard. God is moving each one into place. The attack that was meant to destroy you will end up revealing your strength. The wound that once bled will become the window through which others see God's power in you. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 11, "You turned my mourning into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy." That's what's happening now. He's changing your garments. The heaviness that once hung over your shoulders is lifting. The tears that once blurred your vision are watering the seeds of a brighter future. What was loss is transforming into legacy. Sometimes, God allows you to be seated at the lower end of the table, not because you're forgotten, but because He's about to move you to the head. And when He does, no one will be able to deny His hand upon you. Remember Joseph. He was thrown into a pit before he sat in a palace. You, too, have known the pit, the dark, narrow place where no one could hear your dreams, but now the pit becomes the passage. The years that felt wasted were actually training you to reign. You are being positioned for a public reversal. The balance is shifting. The heavens are aligning. And soon, the story will turn so sharply in your favor that even you will struggle to believe it at first. But let this truth settle in your heart. When God flips the table, He does not simply clear it. He replaces every broken dish with gold, every disappointment with destiny, every humiliation with honor. That's the nature of divine justice. It doesn't just restore what was lost, it adds overflow. So, what do you do while the tables are turning? You keep your heart pure. You stay gracious, even toward those who wronged you, because the greatest display of strength is peace under provocation. Don't fight the small battles when the King of Heaven is winning the war for you. Right now, take a breath. Feel that stillness within you that's not emptiness, it's readiness. The winds that once opposed you are about to carry you forward. Your story is shifting from survival to significance. And if this message has stirred something deep in your spirit, I want to speak to you as family. These words, this space we share it, isn't just content, it's a table of its own. You've sat here, listening, nodding, feeling seen. If your heart knows this is your place, I invite you to like this message, not for vanity, but as a mark of unity Let it be your way of saying, yes, this is my season of reversal. Now, and if what you're hearing has touched something sacred inside you, share it forward, somewhere out there. Another weary heart needs this reminder that God still turns tables, still restores names, still flips the script in favor of the faithful. Finally, subscribe not to follow a person, but to stay connected to a voice that keeps pulling you back toward purpose. Each message here is a spark, a reminder, a whisper from heaven, reminding you that your story is far from over. Because, chosen one, your next chapter is not written in shame, it's inked in glory. The tables are not just turning, they're being anointed. The same table that once hosted your rejection is now being set for your rejoicing. Sit down, lift your eyes, and smile. Heaven has remembered your name. The winds of divine reversal are fully awake now. Chosen one, what you felt shifting quietly in the spirit is beginning to take shape in your life. The plans that once seemed delayed are aligning faster than you imagined. Heaven is moving with precision, like a master craftsman carving justice from the wood of your suffering. What once looked like chaos is now revealing itself as divine choreography. You may not understand how swiftly things will turn. It will begin with small signs, unexplained favor, sudden clarity, unexpected opportunities. People who overlooked you will begin to remember you. Doors that remained locked for years will creak open at the sound of your name. The weight of waiting will lift as destiny steps forward. You are walking into the fulfillment of what was promised long ago. This isn't random, it's reward. You stayed faithful when quitting would have been easier. You kept walking when silence screamed the loudest. And now, heaven is whispering, it's time. You are entering a divine reversal season, the kind where what was meant for harm becomes the very instrument of help. Like a storm that clears debris, God is using what hurt you to make space for what will heal you. You will look back at the same mountains that once blocked your path and realize they were stepping stones in disguise. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 8, the righteous person is rescued from trouble, and it falls on the wicked instead. Do you feel the gravity of that promise? The trouble that tried to trap you will turn on its creator. The schemes designed to destroy you will become their undoing. This is divine reversal, the justice of heaven made visible on earth. God never forgets. He never misses a word, never overlooks a wound, never wastes a tear. Beloved, you are standing at the threshold of a turnaround so profound that even your enemies will be silent in disbelief. The hands that tried to hold you down will now be busy applauding what God has done for you. You are not fighting for recognition anymore. Heaven is introducing you. Your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered, among people who don't even know why they feel drawn to favor you. That's what happens when heaven intervenes. It doesn't ask permission. It simply moves. The battle you've endured was never about your weakness. It was about your endurance. You proved that your heart could hold faith even under fire. You became a testimony of grace under pressure, and that faith has triggered divine motion. Right now, angels are repositioning things around you. People, opportunities, timing. Every delay was recalibration. Every disappointment was redirection. And every closed door was a sacred no, saving you from future pain. You were not rejected. You were rerouted. But here is something you must know. Divine reversal isn't always loud. Sometimes it begins softly, like dawn breaking after a long night. You might wake up one morning and simply feel lighter. That's the evidence. Heaven's court has already ruled in your favor. You are simply walking out the verdict. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. You've stepped into a supernatural exchange, the pain of the past traded for the promise of peace. And once heaven declares a reversal, nothing on earth can cancel it. You will soon see vindication in ways that take your breath away. Relationships will heal. Truth will surface. Resources will find you. And strength will return to your soul. But when it does, remember, this is not luck. This is fulfillment. This is what happens when the righteous judge decides that enough is enough. So right now, chosen one, you are being invited to align your faith with what heaven has already begun. I want you to do something prophetic, not for me, but for yourself. In the comments below, type the number 444. That number symbolizes divine stability, completion, and heavenly alignment. When you type it, you're declaring, I agree with heaven's reversal in my life. I stand firm on God's justice and His perfect timing. It's not superstition, it's symbolism, a visible act of invisible faith. This act is your way of planting a flag in the spiritual ground and saying, the tables have turned. I am no longer beneath the weight of what was. I am standing in what shall be. Heaven sees that declaration. The moment you release it, angels respond. Your story is not one of tragedy, it's transformation. You were the one underestimated, overlooked, misunderstood. But the same God who saw David in the field and Esther in the shadows has seen you in your pain. And now, He's stepping forward to display His glory through your life. Hold steady. The reversal has begun. And no one, not the past, not fear, not darkness can stop what heaven has already written. Your enemies will watch, not in arrogance, but in awe. They will stand at a distance and see what the hand of God has done in your life. The ones who once whispered, they'll never recover, will be forced to witness your resurrection. The same mouths that cursed you will have no choice but to confess something divine was upon you all along. This is the justice of heaven. God doesn't humiliate your enemies. He educates them. He teaches them that His chosen cannot be crushed, cannot be erased, cannot be silenced. Every attempt to bury you only multiplied your depth. They covered you with dirt, not knowing you were a seed. And now, the bloom of your purpose is visible for all to see. When God begins to vindicate you, He doesn't do it in private. He makes sure those who once doubted you are there to see it. Not because He wants you to boast, but because He wants them to understand His sovereignty. He turns your story into a sermon, your scars into scriptures written on your life for others to read. You may remember how dark it once felt, the silence, the betrayal, the rejection. It was as though you had been exiled from favor, hidden in a shadowed season that never seemed to end. But heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was preparing an audience. Every delay was divine staging. Every setback was setting the scene. Now, as your breakthrough unfolds, those who plotted your downfall will stand by helplessly, watching as grace rebuilds what they tried to ruin. They'll see doors open that no man could shut. They'll witness the peace that passes understanding resting on your shoulders. And they will know this could only be God. It was never about revenge. It was about revelation. God uses your life to reveal himself. He takes what was meant to discredit you and turns it into evidence of his existence. That's why he allowed the opposition in the first place, because there can be no vindication without accusation. The darkness made the light more undeniable. We are reminded through the writings of Moses in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 13, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today you will never see again." That verse is not just history, it's prophecy. The Egyptians of your life, the ones who enslaved your peace, mocked your progress, or drained your joy, they are being removed permanently. You will look for them and find them no more. Their power over you has expired. But take note, chosen one, when your enemies watch, do not let pride rise within you. Let compassion rise instead. Because while they see your elevation, they are also witnessing their own lessons. They are realizing that what they spoke against was holy. The favor they fought was divine. The one they wounded was anointed. And that realization will bring them to a crossroads, repentance or regret. Some will humble themselves and seek forgiveness. Others will retreat into silence. Either way, you are not responsible for their response. Your role is to stay radiant, to keep shining with the grace that spared you. You must also remember this: vindication is not for revenge, it's for restoration. God doesn't restore you so you can mock those who mocked you. He restores you so that people can see his mercy in motion. You become a living message of what redemption looks like. There will come a day when those who hurt you may cross your path again. When that day arrives, you'll find that the bitterness is gone. The pain will no longer echo. Instead, you'll look at them and feel peace, a peace that says, "What you meant for harm, God turned for good." The truth is, the sight of your survival is the loudest sermon they will ever hear. Your joy will speak louder than any argument. Your peace will preach louder than any defense. Your continued rise will become the evidence that light is stronger than darkness, and obedience is more powerful than manipulation. Chosen one, God has set a table before you, not as revenge, but as revelation. He's showing everyone that his hand never left you. And soon, you will dine in peace, while those who doubted you stand in quiet awe. So, rest now. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to seek closure. The scene of your suffering has become the stage of your vindication. Let them watch not to see your pride, but to see his glory. Because when God decides to honor a life, he does it in full view of those who once underestimated it. The show isn't about you, it's about him shining through you. The enemies that once gathered to mock your fall are now gathered to witness your rise. And when they see it, they will whisper the truth you already knew. The Lord has fought for them. The silence of God was never punishment, it was strategy. You mistook his quiet for distance, but in truth, he was closer than ever, working in dimensions your eyes could not perceive. There were nights you cried out and heard nothing back. Days you prayed and felt no answer. Moments where heaven seemed deaf to your desperation. Yet in that stillness, something sacred was happening. God was not ignoring you. He was instructing the universe around you to align perfectly with your purpose. You see, silence is one of God's most powerful tools. When he speaks, creation responds. But when he stops speaking, creation waits. Every delay you experienced, every door that refused to open. Every opportunity that slipped away was heaven holding its breath, waiting for the precise moment when your obedience and your destiny would meet. There's a difference between divine silence and divine absence. Absence leaves you empty, but silence matures you. It trains your spirit to listen beyond sound. It teaches you to trust not the voice, but the character of the one who speaks. And that's what God was doing all along, maturing your hearing. You've learned to sense him in subtleties, the sudden peace in chaos, the unexpected calm in crisis, the soft whisper that tells you, keep going. Every warrior of faith has walked through the wilderness of silence. Even Jesus, on the cross, cried out, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" But heaven was not forsaking him, it was fulfilling him. The silence was not abandonment, it was announcement. God was declaring victory in a frequency the world could not hear. That's what happened to you. When the world fell quiet, heaven went to work. The stillness that surrounded you was actually the sound of strategies forming like a seed buried in the ground. You were hidden beneath silence, but hidden does not mean forgotten. Beneath the soil of stillness, roots were growing, depth was forming, identity was solidifying, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. That verse was written for you, chosen one, the revelation of your life, the promise you've been holding on to, the dream that refused to die. It has an appointed time. God's calendar is not marked by your impatience. It's guided by his perfection. The silence you endured was simply the space between planting and harvest. If God had answered too early, you would have mishandled the blessing. You needed the waiting to strengthen your spirit, the quiet to refine your motives, the pause to protect your promise. There are things that can only be built in silence: character, humility, discernment, endurance. These cannot grow in noise, they require stillness. Now that you've passed through that season, look closely at yourself. You are not who you were before the silence. You have learned patience that cannot be shaken, peace that cannot be stolen, and faith that doesn't depend on feelings. You've discovered that the absence of sound does not mean the absence of God. You've become fluent in the language of waiting. And that language, quiet trust, is what separates the chosen from the casual. Anyone can praise when the miracle comes, but only the chosen can worship when heaven seems quiet. You didn't quit when it was dark. You didn't curse the silence. You stayed. You prayed. You waited. That obedience, that stubborn faith, was seen. Now, the silence is ending. You will begin to sense movement again, not frantic, but steady. The winds that once seemed still are stirring. The path that looked closed is clearing. The voice you longed to hear will soon speak, not as a whisper, but as a command. It is time. Up, and when that happens, you'll understand why he waited. Because what he was preparing wasn't just a blessing, it was balance. You were being aligned with his timing, so that when the fulfillment arrived, you'd be ready to carry it without breaking. God's silence was never rejection. It was protection. It was the womb of transformation. The quiet moments were shaping your spiritual muscles, teaching you to stand even when you couldn't see. Now, as you step forward, remember this truth. Divine silence is never empty, it's loaded with purpose. When heaven goes quiet, it's because the next word will change everything. Chosen one, your waiting has not been wasted. The time of silence is ending, and the voice of promise is about to echo again. You will not miss it this time. Your spirit has been trained to hear. You have walked through silence, endured betrayal, faced judgment, and yet, chosen one, you are still here. The world thought you were finished, but heaven called it foundation. The pressure didn't crush you, it carved you. The pain didn't destroy you, it defined you. Now comes the moment of recognition, the crowning of endurance. This is the moment where heaven leans in and whispers, "Well done. You didn't lose your light when the world grew dark. You didn't let bitterness rewrite your identity. You didn't stop praying when the answers seemed far away. That resilience has become your crown. And now, heaven begins to reveal what all that waiting was for. Your humility was not overlooked. It was your hidden qualification. Every time you chose kindness, when cruelty would have been easier. Every time you forgave, when revenge seemed justified. Heaven wrote it down. Angels don't measure success by comfort, they measure it by obedience. You've been passing unseen tests while others chased visible victories. Now, divine recognition approaches. It won't come from the people who hurt you, it will come from the God who healed you. He is lifting your head and setting you apart. Not as a display of superiority, but as proof that grace still works. You are not being crowned for perfection, you are being crowned for perseverance. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 10, "Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." You were persecuted, but you stayed righteous. You were misunderstood, but you stayed gentle. You were rejected, but you stayed faithful. That's what heaven rewards, not noise, not popularity, but endurance in purity. The crown that's being placed upon your life isn't made of gold. It's woven from moments of quiet obedience. It's made from tears that became prayers, from storms that became sermons, from losses that became lessons. God saw what it cost you to stay kind. He saw the internal wars that no one else noticed. And now he says, "Enough. The testing season has ended. The unveiling begins." No, you may feel unqualified for what's next, but that's how every chosen one feels. The very thing that makes you doubt yourself is what makes you dependent on God, and that dependence is what keeps you pure. Pride cannot live in the heart of someone who knows how much grace it took just to stand. This new season will not require striving, it will require surrender. You won't need to force open doors, they will open at your presence. You won't need to fight for recognition, your peace will speak louder than your words. God himself will testify of you. There's a certain glow that surrounds those who have walked through fire and didn't lose their faith. That's you now, a walking testament that survival is not the goal. Transformation is. Your spirit carries evidence that the war was worth it. You've been refined like gold, purified by fire, and what remains is unshakable. But here's the truth. Chosen one, crowns are not just rewards, they are responsibilities. To be crowned means to carry light for others, still trapped in darkness. You are being called to rise as an example, not of perfection, but of perseverance. The same God who restored you will use your testimony to restore others. So when you speak, speak with mercy. When you lead, lead with humility. When you love, love without fear. You have been entrusted with influence, not to impress, but to inspire. You are becoming a mirror through which others will see the reflection of divine faithfulness. Now, I want you to take a small but prophetic step of agreement. In the comments below, type these 3 words: I rise now. These words are not casual, they are a covenant. When you write them, you are declaring to heaven and to your own spirit, I will no longer live as one who survived. I will live as one who reigns. It's not about ego, it's about elevation. You're saying, I accept the responsibility of this crown. I accept the light that comes with being chosen. Oh, and heaven will hear that declaration. For every I rise now, typed in faith, a chain of doubt breaks. A door of opportunity opens. A new level of strength awakens. Because when you rise, you're not rising alone, you're pulling others up with you. This is your coronation in the spirit. The humility that once made you invisible is now the magnet of divine favor. The storms that once silenced you have become your stage. The very weight that almost crushed you has transformed into your crown. So lift your head, chosen one. You don't wear shame anymore, you wear strength. You don't walk as one forgotten, you walk as one forgiven and favored. The heavens are applauding quietly, and grace itself is resting on your shoulders. Your crown is not waiting in some distant future, it's here. In this moment, resting upon a heart that refused to give up. You have risen. There's a shift in the atmosphere now. Chosen one. The kind of shift that doesn't need an announcement to be felt. It's like when winter begins to loosen its grip, and the air suddenly smells like spring. You can sense it before you see it. The warrior within you is awakening. This is the season where all the silent battles you fought begin to reveal their purpose. Every time you cried and prayed, every night you wrestled with doubt, every morning you rose again despite exhaustion, those were not wasted moments. They were training sessions for your spirit. You were not breaking down, you were being built up. God has been sculpting you like an artist, chiseling marble, removing pieces that didn't belong so that your true form could emerge. You didn't understand the process, but heaven did. The strikes that hurt the most were the ones that shaped you the best. Now, what was once hidden within is coming to light. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14. Verse 14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That verse is no longer just a comfort, it's your reality. You've reached the part of your story where you no longer fight for survival, you stand in victory. The battle is not external anymore, it's internal. And the peace you carry now is proof that the war has already been won. Think of yourself as a tree that survived countless storms. The wind bent you, but it could not break you. Your roots dug deeper with every trial. Now, the same branches that once trembled in fear are reaching higher than ever, carrying the fruit of endurance. And soon, others will find shade beneath the strength you've grown. That is what it means to be a warrior of light. Not to destroy others, but to stand firm so others can rest near your strength. You have become the evidence that resilience is holy, but even warriors need reminders that their journey is not a solitary one. Every message, every word that reaches your heart, is a thread connecting you to a divine community of others walking the same path. We're not random souls scattered across the world. We are flames in the same fire, stars in the same constellation. If this message has stirred something within you, if it feels like a mirror to your own story, then I ask you to do something simple yet sacred, like this message, not as a digital gesture, but as a declaration. I am still standing. I am still fighting. Let that click be your amen, your quiet agreement with what heaven is speaking. And if it resonates deeply, share it. Think of sharing not as promotion, but as planting. Every time you send a word of encouragement, you are sowing seeds of hope into someone else's midnight. You never know who might be holding on by a thread, waiting for a message like this to remind them that they're not alone in the battle. Finally, subscribe, not to a platform, but to the flow of purpose. Each word spoken here is meant to water your faith, to whisper strength into your days. Staying connected means staying reminded that your journey matters, that your growth is noticed, and that you are not forgotten. The battle you've endured has taught you how to walk in calmness while chaos screams around you. That calmness is not emptiness, it's authority. You've learned to move with grace where others panic, to pray instead of argue, to breathe when others break. That's the mark of one who has fought alongside heaven and survived. Look at your life now. You carry invisible medals, the quiet strength of patience, the golden glow of forgiveness, the silver edge of wisdom. You may not see them, but heaven does. You've earned them through storms and stillness alike. You are no longer a wounded soldier. You are a seasoned warrior. When others look at you, they might not understand how you've survived everything you did. That's because they only see the surface. They don't see the divine hand that held you, the prayers that sustained you, the angels that guarded you. You are living proof that God still fights for those who refuse to give up. And remember, chosen one, even the strongest warriors need rest. So, breathe. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. You've fought long enough. Now, let peace be your armor. Let gratitude be your sword. Walk in stillness, because victory already walks beside you. The battle has been won, but your purpose is just beginning. Keep walking forward softly, steadily, victoriously. Every lie will collapse. Every false word that was spoken against you will fall under the weight of truth. The same tongues that formed deceit have grown weary, because lies cannot outlast light. Truth may walk slowly, but it always arrives, and when it does, it dismantles every shadow that tried to shape your story. You've lived under the sting of falsehood before. You know the pain of hearing things said about you that were never true. It's a strange kind of wound, one that bleeds in silence, because you can't defend yourself without feeding the fire. But heaven saw how you stayed calm. Heaven saw how you chose silence over shouting. That choice was not weakness, it was wisdom. When people build lies, they use fragile materials, jealousy, insecurity, pride. Those foundations can't stand long. At first, their words seemed powerful, convincing, even respected. But over time, deceit starts to rot from within. It can't carry the weight of eternity. And now, one by one, the lies are collapsing like old walls in an abandoned city. The truth about you is resurfacing. God is pulling it up from the ruins and showing it to the world. You don't need to explain yourself. Your life will speak for you. The peace you carry will become your loudest testimony. the light in your eyes, the calm in your voice. These will be undeniable signs that grace has outlived gossip. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 16. These are the things you are to do. Speak the truth to each other, and render true and sound judgment in your courts. Truth is heaven's language. Every time you chose honesty over manipulation, you spoke in God's native tongue. Every time you refused to return lies with lies, you aligned yourself with His kingdom. That's why you're still standing, because falsehoods fall, but truth stands forever. You may not have seen justice when you wanted it, but it's coming in ways you never expected. Truth doesn't rush, it arrives right on time. Sometimes, God lets lies echo for a while, so that when truth finally speaks, its voice carries more weight. And when it does, no one can silence it. The collapse of deceit isn't always loud. It happens quietly, almost imperceptibly at first. People who once believed the lies start to notice inconsistencies. Faces that once avoided yours begin to soften. Conversations shift. Old rumors lose power. The web unravels, and suddenly, the truth stands unopposed. This is the divine justice unfolding around you. God never forgets what was said, but He also never forgets who stayed faithful. The same spiritual laws that allowed darkness to test you are now enforcing righteousness on your behalf. It's a holy reversal. Each untrue word returns to its sender, stripped of the strength it once had. You will not need to see their downfall to know that justice has come. You'll feel it in the peace that settles over your soul. The very memory of those false accusations will lose their sting. That's how you'll know the season has shifted. Heaven's gavel has struck the table, and the case is closed. When the truth fully rises, it doesn't just clear your name, it redeems your time. The opportunities that were stolen by slander will be returned with interest. People who once doubted you will find themselves seeking your counsel. The same stage that displayed your pain will now display your purpose. But here's the most powerful part. Chosen one, when the truth comes, do not gloat. Let grace finish the story. Let your peace be louder than your proof. Because if you return mockery for mockery, you lower yourself to the same ground God just rescued you from. Stand tall, stay quiet, and let His justice finish its course. There is a beauty in letting God clear your name. It humbles the proud and lifts the patient. It shows that character outlives slander. You are not defined by what was said about you. You are defined by what you chose to believe in the silence. So, as the truth unfolds, stay grounded. Keep walking in integrity. Let your kindness continue to disarm confusion. There's no need to revisit the wounds. They have already been written into wisdom. You don't have to reopen old arguments when heaven has already spoken your vindication. Every lie that once shadowed your name is losing its power now. The winds of truth are sweeping through every space that once held deceit. The same God who heard the first whisper of slander is now commanding silence over your accusers. The storm is clearing, and clarity is returning. Chosen one, take a deep breath. The air is lighter now. The lies are fading. The truth is rising, and the peace that follows will remain. What tried to stain your story has only made your light shine brighter, because every lie has an expiration date. But truth is eternal. The heavens are moving with precision now. Chosen one, what was hidden in mystery is coming into manifestation. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your spirit knows. A shift has taken place. The judge of heaven has stepped forward, and the balance of justice is tipping in your favor. Every seed of pain, every night of endurance, every tear that hit your pillow is being counted as testimony in the court of the Almighty. There are moments when you feel something stirring in the unseen, as if the air itself carries judgment and mercy in equal measure. That's because the heavenly gavel has already struck. God has seen the injustice done against you. He has watched the gossip, the sabotage, the false smiles, the hidden motives, and he has declared, enough. However, this is not about revenge. It is about restoration. God does not destroy to satisfy emotion. He restores to display his righteousness. When heaven issues judgment, it is not wrath, it is realignment. Everything that was twisted is being straightened. Every imbalance is being corrected. You are walking into a season of divine order, where chaos can no longer claim authority over your life. Scripture reveals this clearly in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 19. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, "It is mine to avenge, I will repay," says the Lord. You don't need to defend yourself anymore. You don't need to fight back, to prove, to justify, to explain. The one who formed your heart is defending it. The same God who sat silently during your trial is now speaking loudly in your favor. And when he speaks, no argument stands. You are about to witness the unraveling of deceit. Those who plotted against you in secret will see their own traps collapse beneath their feet. The energy they spent trying to discredit you will now expose them. Heaven's justice is poetic. It mirrors actions back to their source. What was meant to wound you will now wound pride instead. But this isn't just about them, it's about you. God's judgment isn't coming to punish others as much as it's coming to free you. The weight that's been pressing on your chest, the invisible heaviness that's lingered over your days, it's being lifted. Judgment is not only falling around you, it's moving through you, cleansing you of bitterness, cleansing your path of residue. This is why the delay was necessary. You weren't being ignored, you were being prepared. If justice had come earlier, your heart might have rejoiced in punishment instead of restoration. But now you're different. You want peace more than revenge, truth more than triumph. That transformation is what allows heaven's judgment to rest upon your life safely. You will soon see it. Things shifting, people apologizing, opportunities returning, and clarity unfolding. Some situations will simply dissolve without explanation. You'll look around and realize the tension has lifted. The warfare has ceased. The anxiety has disappeared. That's the mark of divine judgment, fulfilled peace after the storm. This is not fantasy. This is fulfillment. God's justice does not shout. It settles. It does not destroy without purpose. It rebuilds with order. You are stepping into divine stillness, the kind that only comes after heaven has spoken. And in this holy moment, I invite you to seal this word with faith. In the comments below, type the number 888. That number represents new beginnings, divine completion, and infinite restoration. When you write it, you are making a declaration not of vengeance, but of victory. You are saying to heaven, I agree with your justice. I trust your timing. I stand in peace while you make all things right. Oh, This simple act is a prophetic symbol, a visible reflection of invisible surrender. It tells heaven that your heart is aligned with mercy, not malice. It tells the universe that your story will not end in bitterness, but in balance. So, type it with intention. Let your faith guide your fingers. Each 888 becomes a spiritual signature, a mark that says, I have left the courtroom of confusion and entered the throne room of completion. You don't need to worry about what happens next. Judgment has already been rendered, and the scales have shifted. God's timing is unfolding like dawn after a long night, gradual, glowing, unstoppable. Soon, you will see the fruit of His justice in every area of your life. Peace replacing panic, joy displacing sorrow, abundance following endurance. And when it comes, you will not need to shout. Look what God has done. The evidence will speak for itself. Chosen one. The verdict is in your favor. The judge has spoken. The storm is silenced, and the light is breaking through. Stand still now. Breathe deeply, and know heaven's justice is not on the way. It's already here. You were never outnumbered. Chosen one. It only felt that way because heaven's army doesn't march with noise. While your enemies gathered visibly, your defenders stood invisibly. You saw the crowd that mocked you, but not the cloud that covered you. You heard the words of opposition, but not the whispers of angels sent to guard you. You thought you were surrounded by darkness, but the truth is, darkness was surrounded by light. Every chosen one must face the illusion of isolation. It is part of the training. God allows you to feel alone so that you will learn where your true help comes from. People may abandon you, but heaven never does. In your loneliest hours, when every voice fell silent, the unseen realm was alive with activity. The very moments you called empty were filled with divine presence, orchestrating your protection. Remember the story of Elisha's servant. He looked out and saw the enemy's army surrounding the city, and he panicked. But the prophet prayed, Lord, open his eyes. And suddenly the servant saw chariots of fire encircling them. That's your story too. You thought you were surrounded by opposition, but in truth, you were surrounded by deliverance. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 8, we are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. That verse captures your journey perfectly. You've been pressed, but you didn't collapse. You've been confused, but you didn't lose faith. You've been hurt, but you never turned bitter. That resilience wasn't your own strength. It was evidence of the divine presence standing beside you. You see, God's army doesn't always appear in lightning or thunder. Sometimes it shows up as endurance, patience, peace under pressure. Those quiet strengths that kept you from breaking were actually heaven's reinforcements. Every time you felt like giving up, but didn't, that was divine assistance at work. There were times when you counted those against you and found the number overwhelming. Friends turned into critics. Allies became strangers. And doors you once walked through were suddenly locked. You asked, God, where is everyone who promised to stand with me? And the answer was simple. He removed them so you would stop counting people and start counting promises. The truth is, you never needed many. You only needed the Almighty. One God on your side outweighs 1,000 who speak against you. Heaven's mathematics is not about numbers, but about nature. The presence of God in your situation shifts the equation instantly. Majorities become meaningless. Every attempt to isolate you was a setup for revelation. God needed to show you that your defense was never human, it was holy. He let certain people walk away, so that when He delivered you, no one else could take the credit. You may have mourned their absence, but one day you'll thank Him for the subtraction. Every departure was divine editing, refining the cast of your destiny until only those truly meant to walk beside you remained. The isolation shaped you. You learned to pray without applause, to worship without witnesses, to believe without validation. That's when your faith became mature, not when you had company, but when you had conviction. Now, heaven reveals what was happening all along. Every time you felt surrounded, you were actually being shielded. The angels that fought for you never needed your attention, they only needed your obedience. When you stayed in alignment with God's instructions, their protection intensified. You didn't have to see them to know they were there. Sometimes the proof of divine presence isn't in what happens, but in what doesn't. The breakdown that never came, the attack that never landed, the disaster that missed your life by inches. Those were not coincidences, they were cover. So, look back over your life with new eyes. The moments that felt empty were crowded with divine movement. The seasons that seemed silent were symphonies in the spirit. You have never walked alone. You were never abandoned to fight unguarded. Heaven has been flanking your steps since the beginning. That's why your enemies could never fully touch you. They aimed for your destruction. But something always intervened. A sudden shift, a closed door, an unexpected delay. All of them were divine diversions, redirecting you away from danger. God's hand moved faster than their hatred. And now, as you stand in this new clarity, you realize something profound. You were not the victim of circumstance, you were the vessel of strategy. Every battle was calculated to reveal your strength. Every loss, a lesson in alignment. Your name is in God's mouth. Pause and let that truth sink in. Chosen one. Before anyone else speaks about you, before the world labels you, before the enemy whispers another lie, God has already spoken your name in heaven. And when the Creator of the universe utters a name, it carries power, purpose, and permanence. You were never a mistake. Every syllable of your existence was written into eternity before your first breath. God didn't just call you once. He keeps declaring your name, echoing it across realms unseen. It is a sound that darkness fears and angels recognize. When God says your name, creation responds. Paths open, hearts soften, doors unlock. You may not hear it audibly, but you feel it, those sudden surges of strength when you were ready to quit. That whisper of peace when anxiety tried to suffocate you. That was your name being spoken in heaven. It's as if each time you faltered, God leaned over the edge of eternity and said, "Stand up, my child. Remember who you are." Alpha. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 1. "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." That's the heartbeat of your destiny. You belong to the one who made the stars. You are not nameless among billions. You are marked among the chosen. Your name carries the signature of divine ownership. The enemy can't erase it. and time can't fade it. When God calls you His, no accusation can redefine you. Throughout your journey, you've been misunderstood by many. People have attached false definitions to your life, treating you according to their assumptions rather than your assignment. But the name heaven uses for you is not forgotten, broken, or unworthy. The name heaven uses is beloved, redeemed, restored. Then, when God calls your name, He's not merely identifying you, He's activating you. Every calling begins with a name. When Moses heard his, a nation was delivered. When Samuel heard his, a prophetic voice was born. When Mary heard hers, the Savior entered the world. When you hear yours, something divine awakens inside you. Perhaps you've gone through seasons where you forgot your worth, where pain made you question your place. But even in those moments, God kept calling. Every time you stumbled, He whispered again. Every time you strayed, He summoned you home. He never stopped speaking your name, not once. That's why you're still here. There were times you should have been lost, but heaven's voice held you steady. Even when you turned away, your spirit still recognized the sound of your Maker. The call of your name became your compass, leading you back to light. Your name has power beyond what you imagine. In heaven, it's written on white stone, a promise of identity that cannot be copied or counterfeited. On earth, it carries anointing. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts, not because of who you are, but because of who has spoken you into being. You've been through fire, but the fire only refined the sound of your name. You've been through rejection, but rejection only amplified your resonance. You've been through silence, but silence only sharpened your hearing. Now you stand ready, fully aware that when God speaks your name, the world must make room. There will come a moment soon when you'll feel an inner stirring, a holy echo, reminding you that your name has been spoken again. It might come as an opportunity, as sudden restoration, or an unexpected encounter. Don't dismiss it. Recognize it as heaven's reminder that you are remembered. You don't need to chase validation anymore. You are already validated in divine speech. Your name is not in the mouths of those who gossip. It's written in the mouth of the one who governs galaxies. He is not just talking about you, He's declaring promises through you. When God speaks your name, He's not repeating the past, He's releasing the future. Every syllable He utters carries destiny. That's why hell trembles. When heaven says your name, it remembers the authority attached to it. You carry a calling that cannot be cancelled, a purpose that cannot be plagiarized. So, walk with confidence. Chosen one. When storms rise, remember whose voice called you into existence. When fear whispers, let His words drown it out. You were never meant to blend into the noise. You were meant to carry His sound. Your name is in His mouth. Your story in His hands. Your destiny in His decree. And when God speaks a name, it echoes forever. The vindicated rise. It's happening quietly, like dawn pushing against the horizon. You don't hear a trumpet, no grand applause. Yet everything inside you knows something sacred has shifted. The same ground where you once knelt in tears is now the place where you stand in triumph. Vindication doesn't arrive with noise, it arrives with peace. It doesn't come to prove others wrong, it comes to prove that God was right. Every pain, every betrayal, every long night served a purpose to prepare you for this moment of emergence. You are not who you were when the battle began. You've been refined like gold in the furnace of endurance. Look at yourself. Chosen one. You carry a glow that wasn't there before. That light isn't arrogance, it's evidence. The peace resting on your face is not from avoidance, but from victory. You've walked through fire and came out with fragrance, not ashes. The wounds that once ached have turned into windows for grace to shine through. It's like watching a phoenix rise from its ashes, not in fury, but in quiet majesty. You were buried under misunderstanding, but your spirit never died. The dust that covered you has become your stage. You are rising now, not because you fought harder, but because heaven lifted you higher. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Micah, chapter 7, verse 8. Do not gloat over me, my enemy, though I have fallen. I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. That verse belongs to you. It's your anthem. You sat in darkness long enough to learn its language, but you were never meant to stay there. Now, the same darkness that tried to swallow you will serve as contrast for your light. And as you rise, I want to speak from the heart. What's happening here, this space we share, is not just words on a screen. It's a sanctuary for souls in transition, a lighthouse for those sailing through storms. Every message, every moment of reflection is another flame added to a collective fire of awakening. If this message finds your heart beating in rhythm with its truth, let it be known, like this message, not for numbers or recognition, but as an act of gratitude. Every click is a quiet thank you to the God who didn't let you collapse. If it resonates with your journey, share it forward. Somewhere, there is someone walking through the same valley you've just escaped. You could be the voice that reminds them, you are not done, you are next. Sharing light doesn't diminish your flame, it multiplies it. You never know how far your act of kindness can travel. And if you have found comfort, growth, or divine alignment through these words, subscribe, not out of obligation, but out of connection. Each message that comes next will build upon what heaven has already started in you. Let it be like watering a seed. You keep it nourished until it blooms into its fullest expression. But don't just consume comment. Your words are echoes of faith that ripple beyond your own story. Write from your spirit. Say what this season feels like for you. You never know who might read your comment and find courage again. This isn't a crowd, it's a circle of chosen ones, each carrying their own spark of divine fire. As you read this, picture yourself as a mountain after the storm. The clouds have cleared, and the sun touches your peaks for the first time in what feels like ages. The air smells new. The ground beneath you feels firm again. That's what vindication feels like, not revenge, not pride, but renewal. You are living proof that endurance outlives accusation. You are the testimony that patience is never wasted. Every insult, every doubt, every silence, they were all ingredients in the divine recipe that produced this strength. And now, heaven watches as you rise, steady, sure, radiant. This is your reintroduction, not as the broken one, but as the rebuilt one. The very people who questioned your faith will see that your consistency was your crown all along. You are walking into a season where your peace will speak louder than their words, where your calm will confuse those who expected chaos, where your success will be so graceful that even your enemies will have to admit God did this. Chosen one, your vindication is not a single event, it's a lifestyle. From this day forward, you will live as one who has been proven by fire. Your light will not flicker, because it's been forged in the furnace. So breathe deeply. The ashes have settled, the sky has cleared, and your spirit strong, healed, and whole now rises like morning over a city that once slept in shadows. The vindicated rise, and that vindicated one is you, crowned for the battle won. Those words sound almost too grand, don't they? And yet, chosen one, they fit you perfectly. You've walked through seasons that stripped you bare, faced storms that threatened to erase you, and still, here you are, standing tall, stronger than before. Not because life was easy, but because grace was sufficient. There comes a moment when every warrior lays down their sword and realizes the war is over. That moment has arrived for you. You fought long and hard, sometimes against enemies you could see, sometimes against fears no one else understood. And now, heaven extends its hand, not to call you to another fight, but to place a crown upon your head. This crown is not made of metal, it's made of moments every time you chose faith over fear, mercy over anger, silence over retaliation. It gleams with the light of endurance. Each jewel represents a victory unseen, the night you prayed when you wanted to quit, the day you forgave when you wanted to hate, the time you rose again when you thought you were done. The Word of God declares in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life the Lord has promised." That's you, the one who persevered. The crown of life is not just a future reward, it's a present reality. It's peace replacing panic, wisdom replacing confusion, joy replacing exhaustion. You have graduated from surviving to reigning. You're no longer in survival mode. You're in sacred rule, ruling over your emotions, your reactions, your atmosphere. This new crown comes with calmness. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You've already proven your endurance, and heaven has recorded it. The storms that once scared you now bow to your voice. You speak differently now. Your words carry weight because they've been tested. Your presence carries peace because it's been through the fire and come out refined. Think of a soldier returning home. Their armor bears scratches. Their steps are slower, but their gaze is steady. They no longer rush into every battle. They understand the rhythm of rest. That's you now. The battlefield has taught you discernment. You no longer waste your energy on every provocation. You've learned which battles are yours and which belong to the Lord. You've also learned to honor the scars. Those marks are not reminders of defeat. They are proof of deliverance. Each one tells a story of divine faithfulness, times when you should have fallen, but didn't. You've seen the enemy's best attempt and discovered that it was not enough. That's what makes your victory sacred. It wasn't won by strength, but by surrender. The crown God gives isn't heavy. It fits perfectly because He molded it to your story. Every hardship shaped its form. Every tear polished its shine. You wear it not in pride, but in peace. It doesn't sit above others. It simply sits where grace intended it to be. You are now entering a season of stillness that feels foreign. After so many battles, peace can almost feel uncomfortable. You might even find yourself waiting for another storm. But heaven whispers, "Rest. The war is over." This peace is not temporary, it's the inheritance of the victorious. There will still be challenges ahead, of course, but they will no longer drain you the way they once did. You've outgrown chaos. You've matured into authority. The things that used to shake you now only strengthen you. You've learned how to command calm from within. That's the power of a crowned soul. People around you might not notice the shift at first, but soon they'll feel it, the steadiness in your presence, the lightness in your words, the grace in your actions. They'll wonder what changed, not realizing that heaven has marked you as one who has overcome. The crown you carry isn't loud, it's luminous. It glows softly in moments of peace, radiating quiet assurance. It doesn't shout, "I won." It simply whispers, "I endured." And in that endurance, you have achieved what many never find: a soul aligned with divine rhythm. So now, chosen one, stand tall. The war songs fade. The smoke clears. The ground that once trembled under your pain now rests under your peace. The battlefield has become a garden, and the weapons have turned into tools for harvest. You wear your victory not as armor, but as adornment. You have been crowned not because you fought perfectly, but because you never stopped believing. When God fights, none can stand. Every force that rose against you, seen or unseen, now bows in silence. The war that once raged around you has ended, not because you conquered it by strength, but because the Almighty has declared it finished. His word is the final verdict. His breath, the end of all opposition. You, chosen one, are standing in the afterglow of divine victory. You've spent years walking through fire, facing walls, enduring betrayals, and learning the language of waiting, yet none of it was wasted. Every step through pain has been recorded in heaven's ledger as evidence of your faith. The same tears that fell quietly at midnight have been gathered like pearls, strung together into the necklace of testimony you now wear. Victory, when it comes from God, doesn't sound like shouting. It sounds like peace. It feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years. The pressure releases, the heaviness lifts, and you realize that every battle that once terrified you has already bowed to the one who stood beside you. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 31, echo through eternity. If God is for us, who can be against us? That question is rhetorical, yet its truth reshapes everything. Who can stand against the decree of heaven? Who can undo what grace has written? No curse, no blot, no word of man can overturn what the mouth of God has spoken. Every attack has met its boundary. Every weapon has met its limit. The war is over because the King has spoken. You see, when God fights, his strategy is not like ours. He doesn't need armies or thunder. Sometimes he wins by silencing. Sometimes he wins by stillness. Sometimes he lets the enemy shout until they lose their own voice, while he quietly rearranges the battlefield. By the time darkness realizes it's been outmaneuvered, light has already claimed the victory. You've seen glimpses of this in your journey. Remember the moments that almost broke you but somehow didn't? The accidents that didn't happen? The breakdowns that became breakthroughs? the betrayals that turned into blessings. Those weren't coincidences, they were divine interventions. Heaven was fighting for you behind the scenes, sealing outcomes long before you could see them. The same hand that wrote, "It is finished," over humanity's redemption, has written it over your life. No weapon formed against you prospered, not because you dodged it, but because the Maker of heaven and earth decreed that it would fail before it struck. Every storm that rose was permitted only to reveal his authority when it calmed. This is what victory looks like. It's not the absence of battle, but the assurance of triumph. You've learned that real strength is not in swinging the sword, but in standing still while God moves mountains for you. The heavens are now quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because everything has been settled. The warfare has ended. The season of proving has passed. The ground beneath your feet feels different, solid, sanctified, safe. You no longer walk as one hunted by darkness, you walk as one followed by favor. Angels that once fought for you now guard the peace you've earned. The winds that once howled against you now carry your prayers higher. Even the earth beneath you seems to whisper gratitude, because through your obedience, heaven has won another victory on earth. Take a moment to look back, not with sorrow, but with awe. The mountains you once feared are now behind you, and the valley that once held you captive has become a garden of remembrance. You survived what others couldn't. You held faith when others fled. You endured where many would have given up. That is not weakness, that is divine resilience. Every victory leaves a mark, and yours is not a crown or a title, it's peace. That peace will follow you into every season ahead. It will sit at your table, walk beside you in the morning, and guard your dreams at night. It is the evidence that heaven fought for you and won. So now, stand still, breathe deeply, and let gratitude fill the silence. You don't need to fear what's next. You are walking in the shadow of victory. The same God who fought for you will go before you into every new beginning. And remember this truth: the fight wasn't about destruction, it was about revelation. God didn't let you face battles to break you. He allowed them to reveal his power through you. Every challenge was proof that you were chosen. Every victory, confirmation that you were protected. And now, below chosen one, we reach the stillness after the storm, the sacred quiet that follows victory. You've journeyed through the fire and the flood, through silence and revelation, through betrayal and blessing. You've seen heaven move mountains for you, and now you stand crowned, restored, radiant. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a brighter chapter. You've stepped out of the wilderness carrying wisdom that only the tested can possess. Every scar has become a line of holy script. Every tear, a seed for someone else's healing. You are living testimony that God's chosen are never abandoned. They are prepared, protected, and positioned. So, as this message closes, I ask something simple, but sacred. Like this message, if your heart bears witness to it, let that small act be your amen. Your quiet agreement that you have heard heaven's voice through these words. If it has spoken to your soul, share it forward. There's someone, somewhere, standing at the edge of surrender, waiting for the reminder you now carry that God still fights, still restores, still calls his children by name. Your share might be the lifeline that pulls them back into faith. And if you've found strength, comfort, or clarity in these moments, subscribe not to content, but to connection. Stay close to this flow of anointed words, so that when new messages arrive, they find you ready, expectant, and growing. Finally, leave a comment. Speak your truth, your gratitude, your testimony. Your words might become the confirmation another soul has been praying for. The war is over. The light has won. And now, you walk forward not as the wounded, but as the witness. Your crown glows quietly, and heaven smiles because the chosen one has risen